Everyone's love story is different, but this one is unlike anything we've heard before. Kris and Brandon were high school sweethearts before officially tying the knot, but in 2008, after just 2 years of marriage, their world was turned upside down. Brandon got into a terrible car crash and was left with an irreversible brain injury. He needed around-the-clock care, and after years of caring for him, Kris made the difficult decision to divorce and become his legal guardian. But Kris and Brandon's love story doesn't stop there. Instead, it adds another person. So to help us explain, please welcome to the show Kris and her husband, James Armstrong. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I've read all about you guys. I'm so excited. It's an honor to speak with you. Kris, I wanted to ask you first. Let's just talk about you becoming Brandon's legal guardian. Talk to us about the steps in your head you made to get to that decision.
So, of course, it was a really hard decision. When someone has a severe brain injury like Brandon's, it's almost as if the person that I knew had died and there was this new person. And so, of course, I love this new person very much, but we weren't able to really have a partnership anymore. But it didn't change the love I had for him. In fact, it just deepened. So several years after his injury, I decided that I wanted to move on, but I wanted to still be his guardian and take care of him. So I went to probate court and met with a judge and became his legal guardian, and I've been his guardian for 15 years now.
Good on you.
Oh
Good on you.
Amazing. James, when you met Kris, what did she tell you about Brandon?
She was really straightforward about his whole situation and their story, so there was no surprises. It was pretty quick, she told me.
And James, what was your first thought about her situation?
I thought it was beautiful that she was continuing to take care of him. I guess that's about it. I don't know. It didn't scare me away either. I was more than willing to be part of her life and part of Brandon's life.
Kris, you are just an outstanding person, and I hope you realize we are all sitting in awe of you, and you as well, James. So, Kris, I have to ask you, the first time you saw James and Brandon together, just walk us through that. What was going through your mind?
So James and I met and spoke for a few weeks on the phone, and then we met in person. I immediately met his 5-year-old son. The next day he met Brandon. He knew that Brandon was I wasn't just his guardian, but Brandon was a really big part of my life. And that I saw him, several times a week, if not every day at that time. And so the first time you met Brandon, I remember we went to church together, and I went to the bathroom. I came back, and James's arm was around Brandon. And that's kind of when I knew that, it was going to work out. You got along with him, and my soon-to-be stepson loved Brandon as well. And I feel like it was just meant to be.
Right. I was going to say it's kismet. I'm so glad you guys found each other. Now, James, you and Kris have 3 kids. How did you explain all of this to them, and what was their reaction?
I don't know. We've always been open with them about Brandon's situation, and we were open with them that Brandon was her previous husband. So there's no secrets, And they're very loving. They have a very loving relationship with Brandon.
Wow.
Oh, and what would you guys say to people that question your motives for being Brandon's guardian?
Oh yeah, we've gotten a lot of backlash about that. That it's financially motivated or whatnot, but there's absolutely no monetary gain for us. We 100% do this because we love Brandon and we know that he needs us.
Yeah, don't let those naysayers and haters honestly take away from your selflessness and your unconditional love. Yeah. The real people, the true people out there see it for what it is, and it is absolutely beautiful. Al said it best. So Kris and James, thank you. And Brandon, thank you so much for sharing your story. To our viewers, to keep up with Kris, James, and Brandon and their entire family, follow Kris on TikTok at Follow Me to the Mouse. Thank you again. We appreciate you guys.